The first thing you need to know is this. When the sheriff's deputies showed up at my house with the Attorney General's investigation team and 3 news vans hot on their heels, the HOA president was still screaming at me about my mailbox. You ever had one of those days where reality shifts so fast you're not even sure you're awake? That was me, standing on my own lawn, listening to Brenda Mollery, president of the Silver Briar Preserve Homeowners Association, waving her arms and shrieking, "You can't just show up and claim this house." She was rocking her signature rhinestone sandals and power capri pants, yelling loud enough for the neighbor's dog to go silent. And I'm thinking, this can't possibly get any crazier. And then, right on cue, the unmarked SUV doors swung open, all at once. And those plates flashed that familiar state emblem. Brenda's mouth snapped shut so fast I thought she'd bitten her tongue. The lead investigator just nodded to me, real calm, then turned to Brenda and said, "Ma'am, you illegally foreclosed on property owned by the sitting governor of this state." I swear, you could feel the air freeze solid. Brenda actually laughed, this high, strained bark, trying to play it cool. "That's ridiculous. The governor lives downtown. This house belonged to some Daniel R. Holdings, LLC. We followed all the procedures. I kept my voice steady, just loud enough for her to hear. The R stands for Rivos. Daniel Rivas. And man, the color just drained right out of her face. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. You ever witness somebody realize they just made the worst mistake of their life, and there's nothing they can do to stop the train? That was Brenda, right then. Almost made the whole mess worth it. Governor Rivos purchased this home 20 years ago. The investigator said, "Voice all official. Your HOA's attempt to seize and sell, it was both fraudulent and criminal." Behind Brenda, the guy who bought my house, sweaty, nervous, clinging to a trustee sale package, whispered, "You said it was a dead investor, Brenda." Somewhere down the block, a neighbor muttered, "Oh, she's done." And right there, surrounded by cameras, law enforcement, and half the cul-de-sac, I clear my throat. My name is Daniel Rivos. Most folks know me as Governor Rivos. Yeah, the guy on the billboards, keep our state moving forward, all that jazz. But here in Silver Briar Preserve, I was just the quiet guy at the end of the street, curtains always closed, never answered his mail. Or lately, the stubborn delinquent owner who wouldn't play ball with the HOA. Let me back up a sec. 20 years back, I was just a broke public defender with enough scraped together for a down payment on a stucco 2-story with an old oak tree out front. Silver Briar Preserve was new, fresh pavement, shiny playground, an HOA that mostly fussed over pool hours and holiday lights. I love that place, truly. Planted citrus trees, painted the guest room a shade of teal I'd later regret, and threw a couple of parties before deciding I liked peace and takeout more than small talk. Politics pulled me away, security, duty, all that, so the house became my little retreat. A place to sneak off, mow my own lawn, pretend life was simple for a weekend. For ethics, my financial advisor moved the house into a blind trust. Everything stayed on autopay, curtains drawn, utilities low. From the street, it probably looked like a well-kept ghost house. Then the old HOA board aged out, and in came Brenda Mollery. She had the iron bob, the laminated rule book, and the look of someone who thinks architectural harmony belongs in the Constitution. The first time we met, I was hauling groceries in jeans and a faded hoodie. She squinted at me like the house owed her money. "You the caretaker?" she asked, voice all suspicion. Something like that. She pursed her lips. "I'm the president of the HOA. We have standards. That property's been underutilized." I had to laugh. Underutilized. Empty houses drag down values. We'll be reviewing its status. At the time, I thought it was just HOA bluster. Turns out she meant every word. The warning started small. An orange violation notice taped to my door for having the curtains closed 24/7. Unapproved window coverings, community aesthetic concern. I took a picture, tossed it in a drawer, forgot about it. Next visit, 3 more. Evidence of underoccupation. Failure to maintain landscaping density. Tree canopy too mature. That last one, tree canopy, got me. Then came suspicious ownership structure. LLC, not in community spirit. Now I'm blinking, realizing this is getting weirder by the month. Soon, my trust administrator called, nervous. Governor, the HOA keeps sending random fines and duplicate statements. We're paying the dues, but these other charges look invented. We sent letters, boilerplate came back. Then the mail started vanishing. Certified notices marked refused when no one had knocked, and my security cameras showed nobody ever tried. Brenda started telling neighbors the investor on the corner was bleeding the community dry by refusing to cooperate. Under her leadership, the board started creatively interpreting foreclosure rules. Next trustee sale, a scribbled note in Brenda's loopy handwriting labeled my house delinquent, no known resident, ideal for community reclaim. Just so happened her cousin's LLC won the bid. $487,000. On paper, they said I owed 36 months of unpaid dues. All actually paid, 18 months of special assessments, thousands in random admin fees. They didn't notify my trust, didn't follow state law, just changed the locks and dropped a sold flyer in my mailbox. 3 days later, my security detail calls me. Governor, someone's moving furniture into your Silver Briar property. Is this legit? That's how I learned my house got sold. That's when the tide turned. During a mind-numbing conference call, my aide shot over PDFs from the county recorder. And right there, a notice of default with my trust name misspelled 3 different ways, a sale notice taped to the wrong house, a trustee deed with a notary stamp that looked real fishy. None of this is legal, my counsel said. They didn't follow a single statute. My trust admin pulled up payment records. They cashed every check while claiming non-payment. My chief of staff, bless her, asked, can they do that? Not legally, my counsel answered. This isn't a mistake, it's a scheme. I told them, document everything. Every payment, every letter, every fine. And don't let the HOA know who actually owns the house. Meanwhile, my security detail quietly checked the property. New locks, a couple arguing on the porch, a for rent. Luxury updated sign zip-tied to the lamppost. The online listing bragged. Aggressive HOA ensures peaceful community. My aide nearly lost it laughing. Sir, they basically admitted it right here. That caught the Attorney General's ear. HOA foreclosure fraud was a hot topic, and they were looking for a headline. The AG called me directly. Governor, we can assign someone to this quietly. This could be the case that changes state law. I told him, treat me like a regular citizen, until you can't. The AG's folks went to work. Bank subpoenas, old board member interviews, Brenda's emails. That it all blew open. Because Brenda loved to write things down. If we don't do something about that empty house, buyers will think we tolerate slackers, she wrote. We're practically doing the state a favor reclaiming it. Owner can always sue if he's still alive. LOL. Yeah, she actually put that in writing. The AG investigator forwarded it to me. You want to be at the next HOA board meeting. Now, Silver Briar's clubhouse had seen drama before. Arguments over holiday inflatables, a near fist fight over a chicken coop, but nothing like this. Brenda sat at the front, lips tight, gavel in hand, a banner behind her reading Extraordinary Meeting on Community Stability. Neighbors packed the chairs. The new owner of my house clutched his deed like a security blanket. I slipped in the back in jeans, button down, baseball cap, plainclothes agent beside me. Brenda tapped the mic. We are here because one of our residents has weaponized lawyers against this board's good faith efforts. She was in full spin mode. We legally foreclosed on abandoned investment property, draining our resources. But then the clubhouse doors opened. 3 suits walked in, 2 AG's office, 1 State Department of Real Estate. And behind them, the county sheriff. Brenda's voice faltered. This is a private, actually, ma'am, corruption investigations are very public, said the AG. Everyone, thank you for coming. This won't take long. They plugged in a laptop through the first slide onto the screen, timeline of every payment from my trust to the HOA. Despite receiving every payment on time, the investigator said, the board declared the property delinquent, fabricated votes, forced a sham foreclosure sale. The fake buyer shrank in his chair. Next slide, Brenda's emails. If we play this right, my cousin gets a deal. Then a slide with the relevant state statutes, highlighted in yellow. You violated each of these, said the AG. Falsified notices. Interfered with mail. Misapplied payments. Abused your authority. Brenda started looking around like a trapped animal. We did what we had to, she said, voice cracking. Absentee landlords undermine communities. We were forced to act. The owner never even showed his face. Who is this so-called victim? The AG looked at me. I took off my cap. For a second, nobody moved. Then one by one, folks started whispering, "Oh my God, that's him." Brenda went gray. "Hi, Brenda," I said, as calm as you please. "Sorry I missed the holiday cookie exchange. Been a little busy running the state you tried to steal real estate from." You could feel the power shift in the room, like the air pressure dropped. What happened next was demolition. The AG investigator barely blinked. We'd pursue this just as hard if Mr. Rivos weren't the governor. But defrauding the man who oversees the agencies you lied to, well, that's not a good look. Someone in the crowd snorted. Brenda's voice went shrill. "You can't hold me responsible for a clerical misunderstanding." The board voted. A former board member stood up, voice steady. "I quit because you tried to get us to sign blank meeting minutes. You said no one would ever check." The AG pulled up another document. Meeting minutes with cut and pasted signatures, proven by forensic analysis. The Department of Real Estate added, "The notary who signed this deed retired 5 years ago and moved to Arizona." We called him. Nice garden. That got a bitter laugh from the crowd. The sheriff stepped up, handcuffs ready. "Mrs. Mallory, please stand." Brenda clung to the table, white as a sheet. "You're all making a mistake. I'm protecting this neighborhood. Look at the landscaping awards." I met her eyes. Over a house owned by a man who bought it 20 years ago, paid every bill, and trusted you not to commit fraud. The charges were greatest hits of bad choices: fraudulent conveyance, mail interference, document falsification, breach of fiduciary duty, conspiracy to commit theft. The buyer got a legal stack of his own, his lawyer shouting, "Victim of misrepresentation," loud enough for a plea deal to seem real likely. And of course, the news cameras caught everything. The video made the evening news, Brenda's face cycling from smug to existential dread over and over. Even the late-night shows ran with it. One host joked, "Imagine being so drunk on HOA power you accidentally pick the governor as your victim." Brenda took a plea. No prison, but a criminal record, a massive restitution order that'd clean her out for years, and a lifetime ban from HOA boards, real estate deals, or anything with fiduciary in the description. Her cousin's LLC had their deed voided, fined into oblivion. When the judge read the sentence, Brenda turned white, then red, then back to white again. Frozen, lawyer's hand on her shoulder, tears streaming as the weight finally hit her. Restitution alone? $150,000. The courtroom was dead silent, just Brenda crying in her hands. You know, folks ask me sometimes if I regret fighting back, if it was worth it dragging all this into the light. My answer? Look around. Power only works when people are scared to use theirs in return. The only thing standing between someone like Brenda and your home is your willingness to stand up. So let me ask you, what's the line between protecting a neighborhood and stealing it? Ever had to fight for something that should have been yours all along? Drop your thoughts below, share your stories, and don't forget, sometimes justice looks a lot like your mailbox right where it belongs.